Hello, my name is Daniel Pirestani and I'm the Group CTO at AzamPay. And today I'm going to talk about the waterfall approach versus the Agile methodology for software development. So today I'm going to discuss 4 principles in the Agile software development process, what I like to call sort of my bullet points. So we're going to talk about individual intervention versus process. We're going to talk about working software versus comprehensive documents, customer collaboration versus long contract negotiations, and last but not least, responding to change versus following a plan. So the first point we're going to discuss today is going to be individual interaction versus process tools. Now, a lot of people will have a different style, but in the Agile methodology, we really want, as a stakeholder, we want to speak to these stakeholders individually, get their feedback. These can be from stories, enhancements, maybe bugs, user experience, and these are the types of things that you want to have interactions with individuals versus using process and tools. The next point is working software versus comprehensive documents. Now, a lot of companies will take more of a waterfall approach. And this is where you're going to document this entire process. It might take you 6 months. By the time you get down month 6, the business has changed. And now you have to start all over again. So what we like to do is work in increments, usually in 2-week sprints. And we start working with that software immediately. And we're adjusting with the business, with the market, and we try to stay in sync versus taking your traditional waterfall approach, which is definitely not our style. My next point is customer collaboration versus contract negotiation. Now, I know we all like to get the contract, get it signed with the customer, but really collaboration is the key here, right? You build your product around your customer. So collaborating with that customer, understanding their pain points, their needs, you can design a really good product. Or you could just focus on contract negotiations and not have as good a product. My last point is responding to change versus following a plan. Now, this is very agile. If you're one of the individuals that likes to follow a detailed little plan, you're going to have a tough time responding to change because you're going to be so focused into the weeds. So in the Agile methodology, we're just sort of responding to the customer, we're responding to the business. We are able to shift gears very fast and adjust our product, our services for our customers versus creating a long plan. So here at AzamPay, we're based in Dar es Salaam in East Africa. And there are really 2 points that I like the best out of this entire process. One is customer collaboration. I feel we do a really good job here. It's the reason why I'm here from the United States in Dar es Salaam, is being able to talk to our customers and be able to figure out a solution that will work for them and customize it. So we're not building software for our client, we're building our software around the client. Now, with that said, responding to change is very important because the business will change drastically from week to week here in East Africa. I could be delivering products and goods to customer A this week, and they could be in a very small shop, and week 2 they're in a bigger shop, and now they have other pain points. So I think that the collaboration and responding to change are 2 of my favorite principles that I follow in this Agile process. Okay, so next we're going to discuss 4 to 5 principles that we use here at AzamPay. Now these principles, there are 12 principles in total, but I'm only going to pick a few to discuss. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is satisfying the customer through continuous work delivery. Now what does that mean exactly? It's pretty simple. If you don't deliver your product or your services to your customer, they're not going to be happy. So what we like to do is continue to exceed those expectations by working very hard and continuing to deliver pieces or increments of the software, of the project, or of the service. The next point I want to discuss is the ability to accommodate changing requirements in the beginning, in the middle, or even late in the project. So the best thing about Agile software development is that you can do this at any time. It's not written in stone, it's written in like a crown, right? I can erase it, a pencil, a pen. Nothing is permanent in this process. Versus the waterfall approach becomes more permanent, and you spend all these months or weeks coming up with a project plan, and you can't do A before you do B. And in Agile, sometimes we can do B, C, D before we even do A. And that's the best thing about the Agile process. So if you want process and you want to work with a company who is able to shift gears very fast and accommodate changing requirements, then we're your business of choice as AzamPay. The third principle that I want to talk about is basically harnessing that change. It's a principle that gives the customer a competitive advantage, or what we call in America, a sort of barrier to entry. Now, when you're working with an Agile company, you may have some ideas that say, hey, if I could do this, I will be more competitive. If you are working with an organization that is very agile in their methodology, then we can build those features or functionality that will continue to give you that competitive advantage. So we're not small, we're not big, we're very agile, and we can help you be competitive. So the next principle is more development versus documentation. Now, who likes documentation? Well, you need some documentation, but you shouldn't spend the majority of your time documenting versus when you're building software, the developers need to be coding, or what I like to call ABC, always be coding. And if we can code, we can do more in shorter periods of time that will end up giving the customer a competitive advantage in the future. If we move very slow, the opportunity might pass them up. So we like to spend more time on actually developing the code and then documenting as we go in increments versus documenting everything up front. So spend more time developing. So the last principle that I want to discuss is incremental development work in sprints. Now in the Agile process, a sprint is defined as an iteration of either 2 weeks or 4 weeks. With that said, here at AzamPay, we use 2-week increments. And that means, in a non-technical way, every 2 weeks we're building new features, we're adding code, and we're enhancing our product every 2 weeks and then releasing this immediately to our customers. So again, this goes back to harnessing change, this goes back to accommodating changing requirements in the project, and I'm satisfying the customer, right? So all these things roll up, and this is what I call incremental dev. If you're looking for a company that can, one, change gears, that can adjust to your needs, that can develop functions and features within applications to make you competitive, then come visit us at AzamPay.